It's the 27-minute comedy hour. It's like what you see on TV, except it's online. 27-minute comedy hour. Everything in a comedy hour except half the time.
Hello and welcome to the 27-minute comedy hour, the show where we try to cram an hour's worth of comedy into less than half the time. This week, I'm delighted to be joined by my wonderful guests. We've got Phil Wathen, Heather Elizabeth, and we've got the brilliant John Arnold. Woo! But first, ladies and gentlemen, in the news this week, Matt Hancock revealed that health officials have hunted down 6 cases of the Brazilian variant here in the UK. A team of 40 people worked tirelessly to find the individual, when surely only one was needed. Boris is well good at finding Brazilians. Watching Matt Hancock speak is a really unsettling experience. He had this weird, inconsistent speed, and he also does this thing where whenever he mentions something, he immediately mentions when the last time he did that thing. So, in the press conference today, he said, "We need to look after our mental health just as someone would look after their physical health by going running. I went running just this morning in the park." It's like his processing speed drops and then his motherboard just goes, "Pretend to be human!" Also, Matt, you didn't go running in the park this morning. Running in the park is for complete twats. Oh, wait. No, maybe you did. Meanwhile, apparently Meghan Markle's former royal aides have been queuing up to help a probe into accusations she bullied and humiliated her staff. Meghan has said she's saddened by the accusations. The palace have said they're shocked by her behaviour. Black people have said the accusations are racist, and royalists have called Meghan an attention-seeking, good-for-nothing bitch. All in all, some good arguments to abolish the royal family. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us on to our first game of the evening, and our first game tonight is a game of Crackpot Comments. Now, in Crackpot Comments, I simply take a comment from a news story that has been circulating this week, but I've taken it out of context. I'm not going to tell the comedians what the comment is on, and they've just got to suggest what this person has been commenting on. So our first one, ladies and gentlemen, is, "Come on, sir, keep beating the odds."
Man wearing Minecraft t-shirt still thinks he can get a girlfriend.
Betfred's latest attempt to get round the responsible gambling advertising rules.
I feel like this kind of has the perspective as if it's like someone really sadistically cheering on the virus itself. And then, every time you think we've got it nailed, there's
Well, speaking of being sadistic, I thought this might be students showing support for teachers bullying the weird kids.
I don't. Come on, sir. Keep beating the odds. Yeah. My podcast is definitely going to blow up. You boys think it's so funny. No one's done it before.
There's a possibility as well. Keir Starmer becoming more and more unpopular. That feels very good. It's like the opposition can get legally proved as breaking the law, and he still gets more unpopular. It is impressive.
The odds against Prince Philip safely doing a right turn out of the Sandringham estate.
Excellent. I thought it might have just been a posh person watching someone wank.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, then. Our next one, then. I'm surprised he's got one.
Is it about Boris Johnson's preferred contraceptive method?
Philip Schofield's wife.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that someone commenting on Matt McPartland's new car?
I did write down as a suggestion. Matt Hancock's friends who don't have COVID contracts, and then I realised you could probably end that joke. You could probably just end that joke at Matt Hancock's friends. So.
Yeah.
Oh.
Gavin Williamson's job.
I think this might be someone commenting on Boris's seating arrangements after seeing him clean a chair. Does anyone think they know what the right answer is for this?
I mean, I'm going to assume from the second one it's Prince Philip and his heart problems.
Absolutely, it is indeed. So this is the story of Prince Philip, who has had a successful procedure for his heart condition. How do we feel about this news story, guys?
I was thinking about this. I was like, the amount of effort they're putting into keeping this guy alive confirms that they know he's going to hell. Like, it's just like, get out. Like, oh, no.
Well, Prince Charles made a 200-mile round trip to see him, didn't he? And just for half an hour. And there's usually only one thing that a man travels 200 miles for half an hour for, and that's sex. Which might explain Prince Philip's subsequent heart problems.
I thought it was quite interesting on Monday when he was moved. There was quite a lot of confusion as to why he'd be being moved from one hospital to another, and then obviously they kind of came out and said that he's being moved to a hospital with more doctors that suit his particular needs. Presumably they mean white ones.
Yes, this is the news that Duke of Edinburgh has undergone a successful heart surgery. Apparently, the procedure was quite simple. Once a heart donor had been found, the prince just had to say a simple incantation: Kalima! 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 Many people have expressed concern for his condition, and some other people have hoped the misogynistic old racist will actually get well. That brings us on, ladies and gentlemen, to our new round, our stand-up round. We're going to do things a little bit differently this time. This time, I'm going to present my comedians with a topic. It's going to be randomly drawn, and they just have to come in and try and do 3 minutes on that topic, being as funny as they possibly can. So, our first topic up today, ladies and gentlemen, is psychology.
That must be me. Yeah, well, good evening, everyone. My performing name is usually Professor John. And that's not surprising because my name's John and my day job is as a professor. And one of the great things about this online stand-up comedy is that I don't have to leave the safety of my academic ivory tower in order to perform. I don't have to go anywhere near that scary place called the real world. You can see behind me here, I'm safe in my lecture theatre. Actually, our university bosses don't let us out anyway. They're too afraid of what the public will think when they see exactly what the students are paying their £9,250 a year for. Now, I am a professor of psychology, which is why my cue word was psychology. And I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen, that means that I'm a so-called expert, one who tells you what you already know about yourself, but dressed up in words you don't understand. And what's more, I get paid for it. Now, let me give you a few inside tips about how to interpret a psychologist's report when they write a report on a person. You have to read between the lines, you see. So if the psychologist writes extrovert, that means the fucker never shuts up. If the psychologist says imaginative, that means that they have no connection with reality and probably perpetually on hard drugs. And finally, if the psychologist writes assertive, it means that the person held a knife to their throat until they wrote something nice. Now, you may be surprised to hear that people have often told me that I seem too normal to be a professor. And I used to think that was a compliment. Must mean I'm a man of the people, or down with the kids. I mean, you can see I am, can't you? But eventually I realized that when people said too normal, what they really meant was too thick. The fact that it took me so long to realize probably makes the point for them. Now, I specialize in the psychology of work. That means psychologists like me, we help people be both happy and effective in their job. Or put another way, we help your employer exploit you and you not notice. That means we're kind of like human resource managers, only useful. So my final point, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a terrible typist, which is very bad news in a job where you have to write a lot. I tend to leave letters out of words, and this really came home to roost when I sent an email to students who were about to run out of time to submit an essay. And I ended my email with the amazing words, "My cock is ticking."
Ladies and gentlemen, Professor John. That was awesome. Okay, then our next topic, then, for you, ladies and gentlemen, is family.
Cool. Yeah, have a go on this one then. I actually used to live with my brother and my young nephew. I thought living with my nephew would be cool. I'd be able to teach him all my favorite childhood games and things, but it's not quite the same. Like, we'd play Guess Who. I'd ask if this person was a man, and he'd refuse to speculate on what gender they identify as. I'd suggest he and his friends play musical statues. Growing up in Bristol at the moment, they just think that means drown one another until the music stops. It is interesting living in Bristol at the moment, like with the tearing down of the Colston statue. Like, given recent events, you realise that it's not enough just to kind of be seen as a kind-hearted and tolerant person. I want to actively be seen as anti-racist. My nephew still insists on calling me Uncle Racist. I like to think I'm a good uncle. Bought my nephew a bike for his birthday one year, but apparently it was too obvious from the shape what it was. It was wrapped up, so he wasn't happy that the element of surprise had been ruined. Next year, I tried a lot harder to really disguise the shape of his present, and he still wasn't happy. Apparently, there's just no way to reattach the legs to a dog, so... It didn't really work out living with my brother, though. We disagreed on everything. We even disagreed on how to furnish the house, as my brother claimed all normal people have matching furniture. I'll tell you who had furniture that all matched. Ed Gein. For anyone unfamiliar with who Ed Gein is, he was a colourful character who used to make furniture out of human skin. Pretty grisly and horrific thought, I know, but if you ask me, still preferable to a trip to IKEA. So very different when Ed Gein talked about a bookcase called Billy, I can tell you. So I stopped living with my brother and nephew. My new living arrangements aren't really all that much better. In my house now, there's a raging alcoholic, there's a lazy slob, and there's a needy attention seeker. Or to put it another way, I live alone. I'm in good company, though, because Ed Gein lived alone as well. Understand? I can't get many serial killers who live in house share setups, house meetings. We need to replace the sofa, Ed. Why? What's wrong with it? Stains, wear and tear. No, Ed. Eczema. The most famous things Ed Gein did make, though, was a lampshade that you could actually identify as being one of his victims on site, which sounds terrible, but I hear she was actually very pleased at the idea. Apparently, every time you turn the lamp on, her face just lit up. I'll leave you with that one. That feels like a good place.
Ladies and gentlemen, Phil Wathen! Woo! Oh, sorry, I was supposed to put your banner up, but I know what that last joke is because we've done it. I've seen you perform it before, and I was literally crying with laughter before it even came up. So I was just like, just don't make a noise as we're getting towards it. So that leaves us then. Heather, you got our last topic. That is going to be Christianity.
Ooh, exciting. Okay, so if you know me, you know I've lived many different lives. I was raised in a strong Christian household. But I'm no longer in the faith. But during my first year of uni, I was really a devout Christian. My freshest was spent being sober in nightclubs. And that just sucks because you don't have anything to blame for your actions. Like Heather, like why did you make out with half the girls' rugby team? I don't know. Fueled by the Holy Spirit, I guess. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Being a Christian lesbian was kind of weird. But I held on to the faith because my university had a really great Christian union. And I attended 2 societies at uni, Comedy Society and Christian Union. One of them provided an awful lot of material for the other. You can see how that would work. I remember I was at a Christian Union meeting, and a lady in a wheelchair, she was exiting from the offices, ran back. And as she made her way towards the door, boom, 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 she was immediately clocked. About 5 people aggressively sprinted towards the door, and she was mobbed by a group of people all trying to hold open the same door at the same time. It's like an inbuilt Christian, it's like an inbuilt Christian reflex. It's like there's no force on this earth more powerful than a group of Christians just trying to do the right thing. I guess that's why the Crusades happened. But it can't always work out. Christianity really impacted everything in my life. When I started doing stand-up, I noticed that there was only 2 reasons why I would talk to myself out loud in my room. One of them is when I'm practicing my stand-up, and the other is when I'm praying. You're in too deep in this business when you're praying for war victims and you start leaving pauses for laughter. I'll wrap up with Christianity also impacted my love life, but not really in the way you would expect. So, okay, I'm a level. The Bible is a little bit iffy about premarital sex. And this was on my mind when a girl invited me out on this date. And I didn't want to say that anything was going to happen at the end of the night, but I was completely hairless from the eyebrows down. Like a smooth beluga whale. So as we were walking on, so this was on my mind as we were walking on our date, and I basically strode out into the road and ended up getting hit by a car. And as I lay on on a date, and as I lay on the concrete, I just stared at the sky. I had no idea what happened. I just had one thought in my mind. Wow, God really wants me just to ease off the ass. Like, a little bit, like it all made sense. Like, I've been praying for guidance. Like, sometimes God sends angels. Sometimes God sends words of comfort. Sometimes he sends 2009 Ford Fiestas. God works in mysterious ways.
Ladies and gentlemen, Heather Elizabeth! Woo! Awesome. I think that was a raging success. Okay then, ladies and gentlemen, we'll move on to our next round. We've not played this in a little while, but it's now time for a round of the week in memes. Now, I'm going to show you a meme about a news story from the week, but I've removed the text. What should it say? I don't know. I think that's a bit dodgy, mate.
When somebody on YouTube promises you financial freedom.
A contract awarded to the in-betweeners to supply personal protective equipment.
I was wondering if it was something to do with Christy Elliott's love life. Following that, when your best kind of justification your fans can come up with is, well, 17 is legal in some states. Dodgy brand at best.
Pontin's refusal to allow guests with Irish names in case they're travellers.
Yeah.
Incredible that is. But it doesn't work anyway, because most of the travellers I've seen, there's quite a few around here, they've got much nicer caravans than you get in Pontins.
What? Absolutely, man. I mean, I'm all for the thing. They could extend the list of names. Hall, put Hall down on it, please. I don't ever want to come. Like... okay, then. What about this meme, then, ladies and gentlemen? What could this be about?
I think this is...
Go for it.
I think this is the team of workers required to put up pictures in number 10 Downing Street of Boris's children. Although actually I've realised it's number 11 Downing Street, so this is the as sort of overspill children.
Yeah.
There's this long lost outtake from The Shining found. Two twins.
I was like, is this some proud Tories going, look, we're cutting back by making our own packed lunches?
They look like a really shitty K-pop band or something.
Yeah, well,
It looks like the X Factor finalists, like they're auditioning to be like we need to find Britain's biggest twat. Like,
yeah. At first glance, I thought D12's gone downhill.
I think it's a new video for the Led Zeppelin classic Stairway to Heaven.
I forgot what I was going to say. Sorry.
I think it's Rishi Sunak saying, "It took me 4 hours to find this budget case. It's the same colour as the carpet."
I wondered if this is just like the worst possible thing you could see after you sneak out after a one-night stand.
Just tiptoeing and then just
you're just like, shit.
This, Tories failed to demonstrate themselves as people, the typical English people again with their terrible queuing etiquette. They're sort of, as if they're supposed to be in single file, but they're zigzagging. You're not British.
Excellent. Well, okay. Does anyone reckon they know what this was all in aid of? These memes.
Has to be the budget, doesn't it?
Of course, yeah, absolutely. It is indeed the budget. So our first one was a lot of talk about funding different sectors, but no pay rise for those in the NHS. I don't know. I think that's a bit dodgy, mate. And the worst album cover ever. Budget 2021. So, guys, what did we think of the budget? Did we follow it on tenterhooks?
It was. I really felt like after the year that we've all kind of had, I was hoping they were going to go the same way as like the way we budgeted when I was at university, where it's like, what is the absolute least spend that I need to kind of keep myself alive and functional so that my money can go on alcohol. That's the year that we need kind of from here. So
yeah.
Well, Rishi Sunak has married into massive money, doesn't he? And his family is probably richer than the whole UK economy. So for him, sort of the budget is just like a hobby. It's like going up into his loft and playing with his train set. Oh dear, it's come off the rails. Well, never mind.
It does feel a bit like that when they're all going, there's nothing we can do for any of you. Like you think, fuck you, like you're absolute bullshitters. Okay, well we're almost at the end.
Especially I think terrible the way they've like treated the nurses after like everything that came before, like from just incredible kind of applause at the beginning to just real kind of disdain at the end. It just feels like every stand-up set I've ever done.
Well, it has felt like that. We've had months of them just going, the NHS are amazing, teachers are amazing, everyone has been amazing, they've done so well. Are you going to reward them? No, sorry. We've thought about it and we can afford a tiny little bit for you. Like,
it's ruined every bit of belief I have in round of applauses. Like that's it. Never taking them as sincere again.
Well, as a psychologist, I have to say that this is how they keep wages down amongst teaching, nursing, and all the rest of it, by encouraging people to think they're doing a really worthwhile job and it's worth it in itself. And therefore,
absolutely.
they don't have to have lots of money.
Speaking as a teacher, it's fucking not. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is Rishi Sunak who presented his budget this week. And outraged nurses who are considering strike action over his proposed 1% pay rise. That's all we need. Amateurs helping out in the vaccine rollout. Yes, this is the UK's largest nursing union, who have said the proposal is an insult after everything they have been through in the last 12 months. Many people have been faced with traumatic and mentally distressing situations. Then the Prime Minister leaves and they're expected to get back on with nursing. Some members of the public have suggested that now is not the time for industrial action, and they should try and pursue other measures. But apparently, the nurses have already tried clapping, and it didn't fucking work. So that brings us, ladies and gentlemen, to the end of our lovely show, and we're doing really well on time this week. I think we've done really well, guys. Where can we see you guys coming up in the future? Where are you? Where can we next catch you? Where can we find you on social media and stuff, Phil?
Obviously, just trying to get anything online at the moment until the magic date in May when we can get back live. Don't really do a lot on social media, but anyone can follow me on at PJ Wadden on Twitter. I might start posting some jokes there one day. Who knows?
Well, you guys could follow me on Instagram and TikTok at email in denial. And Simon, I'll stitch all your TikToks from today's episode. So. Yes.
Thanks.
I'm taking part in a few online shows soon. Late Stage Comedy on the 16th of March, a really good new initiative. George Coppen's Fun Night on Saturday the 20th of March. Roger Porter's Blue Suede News, a bit like this program actually, on the 26th of March. So
awesome.
I'm gonna be keeping me handing.
Yeah, excellent. I'm going to be performing with you on the Late Stage Comedy on the 16th, so that'll be fun.
Excellent.
There you go. So come check out Late Stage Comedy on the 16th. That's going to be really good fun, and we're going to have a good giggle with that. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. This has been the 27-minute comedy hour. I think we've done pretty well to keep it to its half-hour length. Please do go and check out the brilliant 20 Minutes More. That's going to go live at 10 p.m. from last week's show. We're about to go off and record that now with us, guys. You can also, please do go and check out Seldom Seen. They're our wonderful sponsors, handmade products made with love and care. Please go and follow us and subscribe on all the socials. You can find us at the 27-minute comedy hour across pretty much everything, except for Facebook, which is Simon Says Stand Up. Until next time, stay safe, everybody.
It's the 27-minute comedy hour. It's like what you see on TV, except it's online. 27-minute comedy hour. Everything in a comedy hour except half the time.